I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see them.
Wait, we can't see.
I know, just be patient. I might walk away from the microphone. That's okay. Do you see the baby?
Let's look at the video.
Okay, we're very excited to be able to do this.
These are the Adelie penguins. I'm up to my knee and they weigh about 10 pounds. And they're smaller than the emperors that you might be familiar with that are from March of the Penguins, which is a really great movie that you should all watch. These birds live most of their lives out in the ocean. And most of the year they're out in the ocean, but they come here to build their nests and raise their chicks. They're terrific birds. They're not afraid of me. I can get very close to them, but they're not pets. These are wild animals, and they need to stay wild. We don't feed them. We don't hold them. We don't give them names. And if something happens to them, we can't help them. They're wild, and they have to take care of themselves. Sometimes that's hard on us, but it is the way it is, and this is nature. So I'm going to keep the camera on the penguin. We have some guy coming over here. Sometimes they come right up to me, and I'll just sit quietly, and maybe they will. And I'll let you guys ask some questions.
Okay, you ready for questions now?
Yeah.
No, is that what you said, Jean?
I think she said she was going to be
If you'd like. Yeah, if you'd like.
I missed what you said. I'm sorry. Were you going to say something else? Okay, teachers, why don't you get questions, send some students up to me.
I'm happy to take questions.
Okay.
Maybe
Can you tell us how cold it is there?
Today it's just below freezing, probably -2 degrees centigrade. The wind has come up a little bit, so it feels much colder.
Oh my goodness.
When I called you before, it wasn't windy, but now the wind is quite high, so that makes it a little bit more cold. But which isn't too bad. But remember, this is our summertime. This is the middle of summer for us.
And she was saying earlier that she hasn't seen a sunset in how long? Since you've been there?
Well, since I've been here, yeah, the sun comes up around the middle of August, and then it doesn't go down until February.
Wow. Okay, we have our first question ready for
That's
you.
different.
That is definitely different. Here's our first
Okay.
question. Go ahead.
How many penguins do you see?
Well, right in front of me, there's probably a couple of hundred, but in our colony here, there's 4,000 birds, which sounds like a lot, but actually, this is a small colony. The other colony where it is has over 500,000 birds, so a lot of birds.
Wow. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. Oops. Okay, go ahead. Next question.
What does the penguins eat?
What do the penguins eat?
Can you repeat it real loud, Kelly?
What do the penguins eat? Jean, can you hear us? Did we lose you? Hold on. We just got to be patient. Okay, so it says internet connection. Hold on. Okay, can you sit down and I'll ask you in a second, okay? Can you back up? Can you sit down? Can you speak up?
So these birds eat small fish called a silverfish and krill, which is a small shrimp-like animal about the size of half of your baby finger. They have to eat small stuff because they don't have any teeth. They just swallow it whole.
Awesome. Thank you. Here's our next question.
Well, how many clothes do you have to wear?
How many clothes do you have to wear to stay warm?
Oh, I have to wear lots of clothes. I have I have 2 layers on my legs, and I have 4 layers on my top, plus my big parka, plus a neck gaiter and a hat and mittens and over mittens and boots.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Okay. Wait. Go ahead. I'll tell you now. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, ask your question.
Where far do you live?
Where do you live when you're
Well,
not
I live in California. Yeah, when I'm not here, I live in California. But when I am here, if you can see in the background that black, dark rock hill, I have to climb all the way up that hill and over the other side to get to my work tent and my sleep tent. So it's about a half a mile away.
Okay, thank you.
How can you be around penguins if they're wild?
That is such a good question. These
Let me
birds are not afraid of me. They don't have any predators on land. They have nothing to be afraid of when they come onto land, so they're not afraid of me. So as long as I don't try to touch them or pick them up or hurt them, then I can sit here and they'll just wander around me. It's great.
That's awesome.
Where do the penguins live?
The penguins live out in the ocean on pieces of ice that are on the ocean. We call them ice floes because they flow around the ocean. And that is where they live. Just like the birds in your area live in the trees, these birds live on the ice. And they just float around.
Do you have killer whales?
He asked if she sees any killer whales or if there's killer whales nearby. Orca whales.
Oh, we see the killer whales every day. They are magnificent, beautiful creatures, and we need to protect them.
Those are my
They're
favorite.
very special. And we see them every day. They don't bother the penguins. They eat fish here. Fish, and sometimes they'll take a seal. So the penguins, it doesn't bother the penguins to have them around at all.
Oh,
They're beautiful.
I didn't know that. Okay, here comes Brandon. Go ahead.
How does it feel mostly? Not like the weather. How does it feel coming your first time, or how many times have you been there?
How many times has she
Well,
been
my
there?
first time down here was 15 years ago. And when I first got here, I also am from Southern California, and I was cold all the time. But then I learned how to dress appropriately, and now, 15 years later, I can stay warm. It still feels cold, and it still feels windy, and it's very rustic. And I live in a tent, so it's like camping. But now, all these years later, I'm used to it, and I like it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon. Okay, you're next, honey. Go ahead. No, you're next. Okay, once. Go ahead. In the water. They're very good at swimming down in the water and coming back up. Is that right?
Yes, they are. That's what they do best. And that's how they catch their food.
Good job, Eli.
Good job. Okay, a couple more questions, and I want to know if you have anything you want to share with us also.
They do. And there are some babies right here. Can you see the brown birds? Those are the chicks. When they're birds, we call them chicks, not babies, but you can call them whatever you want. These chicks are about a month old, and they have about 2 more weeks to go before they can be on their own. So here's a really big one right there.
Oh,
What does you do day.
Oh, what do you do all day? Maybe you could talk to us about your research and what you do there. Were you able to hear that question? What do you do all day?
Yes, we walk around and we look for the birds that have the band. About 10% of the birds have bands. There's one sort of in front of me, but it would be hard for you to see. And the bands have numbers on them, and we track their lives. So we have to find them every other day and see what they're doing. Are they raising a chick? Are they in a nest? Are they out feeding? Did they switch a nest? Were they born here? All those things. So we track their lives and we see what they do. He might come over this way. He's right there. And you can see what a band looks like. It's about as big as your finger and it goes around their wing. It's like a bracelet.
Okay, go ahead.
You want they could come?
Oh, she wants to know if someday you can come here. Oh my goodness, if you're in Southern California, we would love to have you. Are you in Fresno or Southern California now?
Actually, I live in Fresno, but I grew up in Pasadena.
Oh my goodness, if you're ever nearby Los Angeles, we would love to welcome you to our school. Good question.
I would love to come. I do come to classes a lot, so I would be happy to come if I'm ever in your area. I'll let you know.
Oh, please do. Thank you. And yeah, someone said bring a penguin with you.
Penguin. I really want to get you.
Oh, that would be nice.
Okay, here comes another question.
What happens if you touch the penguins?
What happens if you touch the
If
penguin?
I try to touch, if I try to touch the penguin, he'll attack me. So I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do it anyway. But I also don't want to get hurt.
Okay, thank you.
Do you see polar bears?
Do you see any polar bears there?
You don't see any polar bears here. Remembering I'm in Antarctica, which is the South Pole. The polar bears are only at the North Pole. So you tell me what would happen if the polar bears were here? These birds can't fly. What do you think would happen to these birds if the polar bears were here?
Oh, what do you think, guys? What do you think would happen? They would die, they said.
That's right. So it's a good thing there's no polar bears here.
Okay, are we good on time, Jean?
How cold is the water?
Ooh.
Yeah, a few more minutes. Oh, how cold is the water? That's such a good question. Interestingly, the water here is below the freezing point of water. It's negative 1.6 degrees Celsius. And it can be that cold because it has a lot of salt in it. It's the ocean. So tell me, what do you think would happen if I fell into that water?
Yeah. You are frozen. You get frozen.
It would not be good. It would not be good. So it's very important that I stay away from the water. And I do. I have to be very, very careful and not go in the water. Whoop, there's somebody to say hi. There he goes. Oops.
How long did
Somebody
you
didn't like
say?
that.
How long did you say it took you to get there? How long did you say it took you to fly to Antarctica?
So that if everything goes well, it's about a 3 day. 3 days.
Okay. Okay, we have just a few more questions. Here we go. Next one.
How many fishes do the penguins eat at a day?
How many fish do penguins eat in a day? Good question.
Well, they have to bring about a pound, so have your teacher put her hands together and make a bowl with her hands about that much.
Thank you. Okay, next person. Okay, go ahead.
The penguins melt until the sun comes up.
Do the penguins molt until the sun comes up?
Um,
The penguins molt.
No, these penguins are awake all the time. Not all the time, but there's no daytime, nighttime here because the sun never goes down. So these penguins sleep whenever they want to sleep. And if I come down here at midnight or I come down here at noon, the level of activity is about the same.
Oh my goodness, they're busy. Thank you. Do they ever molt? How often do they do that?
Oh, they molt every year. The molting is about a 2-week-ish process, and during that time they can't go swimming, so they go without food and water for the whole 2 weeks that they're molting. They sometimes do it right here at Cape Royds, but usually they're out on the ice. And they better find a piece of big ice so it doesn't melt,
So that means
because
they're
they can't swim.
getting new feathers. Okay, go ahead.
How far can the penguins go out?
Well, to get the food for their chicks right here, they're going out a few miles. It doesn't take them very long. We're seeing them come back in just a few hours. They go out and fill their bellies and come right back. During the winter time, they go between 500 miles and 800 miles out.
Okay.
Away from here, because it's dark here. They can't see in the dark. So during the winter time here, the sun never comes up, so they go away.
Okay, do you have time for 2 more questions? And then, do you have time for 2 more?
2 more.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, she's even wearing a penguin shirt.
Have you got a dog?
Do you have a dog at home?
Help me, Kelly.
Do you have a dog?
I do not have a dog. I'm gone so much I can't have any pets.
Okay, last question.
Have you seen a penguin went down the ocean to get fish?
Do you ever get to watch penguins dive?
Yeah, all the time. Let me show you. All the time. There's the ocean right there. So the penguins don't have to go very far, and I go down there a lot and watch them jump in. It's very entertaining. And jump out. That's also very entertaining.
Do you
So
think...
the ocean is right there.
That's awesome. Thank you. Did you have anything else you wanted to share with us?
I wanted to just make sure everybody knows these are extraordinary animals, and they need to be protected. And when that means is protecting them, it means protecting their food source. So we have to work hard to make sure that the habitat of these animals stays this way so they can have a place to live.
Okay, Jean, I have a question for you. Is it possible for us to take a picture with you in the background and the class that sent you the flag? Do you have time for that, or are you running out of battery?
It would be, let's do it at the next session when I am running out of battery.
Okay.
So let's do it at the next session if we still have
Okay, that sounds good.
battery.
Okay, what do we say? That
Okay.
was incredible. What do we say? Thank you. Thank you, Jean. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.
All right.
Bye. Thank you so much. We'll try to coordinate that. I don't know. All right. Oh my goodness. That was incredible. You know what? You guys are really lucky because, sit down, I'm talking. You guys are really lucky because the last group that connected with her, the 4th and 5th graders, the connection was really in and out. There was lots of stuff that we missed. You don't know any different because you just had that experience, but I'm just telling you, that was a lot better of a connection. We were able to hear almost everything she was saying, so that was really cool. And she's all the way at the bottom of the earth. It's incredible.
Miss Spector, can you
Yes.
show them one more time? Where
Oh, yes.
the
So,
things they all see?
okay, so once again, so here we are. Big, beautiful world of ours. Here's where we are, Los Angeles. So this is North America. Did we Skype with, did everybody in here Skype with Ricky Forbes?
Yes.
Okay, Ricky Forbes was a tornado hunter, right?
Yes.
I need to just take this out of the thingy. All right. So Los Angeles is where we are. Ricky Forbes dropped the world. Okay, I'm gonna hug it
Did I say
instead.
you want me to hold it while you turn it? Oh.
Thank you. Okay. So here's where we are, Los Angeles. Ricky Forbes was up here in Canada, but we just Skyped all the way at the very bottom. Oh, thank you. In Antarctica. This is where she is. Takes her about 3 days to fly there. But normally, the rest of the year, she lives right above us in Fresno, near San Francisco, right? Fresno?
No, Fresno's out.
By
Fresno,
up
Bakersfield. I get
Bakersfield.
Bakersfield, Fraser Park, I get all that
Yeah,
stuff mixed up.
just above
okay,
Fraser
so
Park.
she lives like an hour and a half, 2 hours away from us. But now she's flown all the way down to the bottom of the world, and she's there from October to January.
Why does she want to?
She camps. She's there October, November, December, January. This weekend, I think she's leaving that area. She's been camping this whole time. So last class, she shared with us that she hasn't had a shower since October.
Oh my God.
Because she's camping in the middle of nowhere. No one lives there. There's nothing. All she is in a tent.
Is she alone?
She's not alone. I meant to ask her that last time. I'll ask her next time if there's enough. I was curious how many researchers she's with. I don't think she's alone, but I'm not sure. Because she said we. She's in a place right now called Cape Royds. Thank you,
I
Miss
really need to
Coronado.
be quiet because I like the questions that Mrs. Potts is saying, but I can't hear the response because you guys are talking.
So thank you, and so she lives in an area, what am I saying? She researches, there's a website called penguinscience.com, I think.
The link you sent us?
Yes, and you can explore, is it penguinscience.com?
Yes,
Yes.
that's where we went.
Okay,
I
so,
know she works for like National Geographic.
yeah, I'll ask, or I'll email her now.
We put it.
We're lucky that she lives so close to us, maybe she will come by.
Pasadena's real close.
They put her.
But she said she used to live in Pasadena.
Now she's in Fresno.
But Fresno's not far.
No, it's
so
not.
maybe we can talk
I
her
have
into
a friend in
coming.
Pasadena. She might need to go from another time to get to it.
Right? I think we need to arrange something. Would that be cool? So, the other thing I was going to say, do you guys know that Miss J. Rod's class sent her a flag? Did you hear about that?
Yes.
Did you guys see? Okay, listen. Shh.
You have a picture of it?
Miss J. Rod's class, thank you. Thank you. Okay, student
You're not
post.
talking.
Thank you. Miss J. Rod's class. Do you know who loves penguins almost more than anyone that's sitting in this room? Who loves penguins more than anyone? Miss J. Rod. And probably a lot of you, and I know that I'm growing to love them more and more thanks to Miss J. Rod too. Her class was able to send Jean, the lady we just talked with, a flag that was made up by Miss Olson, Mrs. Olson, and Miss Christina, and the kids in her class all signed it. And we sent it to Antarctica, and they flew the flag in Antarctica and took a picture of it, and they're going to send that flag back to us. So we will have a flag that flew all the way in Antarctica and came back. So here's what it looks like.
Bottom of the world.
Amazing. So
That's like
right here. And if you look right here, those are penguins in the background. And I'm glad those are there because otherwise you wouldn't be able to tell. But those are penguins. Isn't that amazing? And it says, our school name, New Academy, Canoga Park. Isn't that cool? And there's our dolphin on a tent. And all the kids in Miss J. Rod's class, there's their name. Isn't that super cool?
Yes.
All right, super cool. So teachers, I know you've got lots going on. Thanks for making time to be here. That was incredible. I'm so glad the connection worked. Let's have you exit the way that you're sitting. So do not stand up until your teachers tell you to stand up. And have a great